Hi ninjas, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I can't believe I'm actually saying this. It has been a long time coming to get to this point, and it's not been an easy one, I'll be honest and say that. But alas, we are here today and we are making something absolutely delicious. We are making a skillet cookie recipe, and not any skillet cookie recipe, a heart-shaped skillet cookie recipe, because I love being cheesy this time of the year. Because in case you haven't noticed, you guys, it's almost Valentine's Day, and this is an easy recipe that you can whip up in no time, in under an hour, for anyone and everyone. Yes, it doesn't have to be for your loved ones only. It can also be for your family, friends, mailman, anybody. So let's get started. Now my butter is, as you can see, at room temperature. It's really soft, and this is essential to get that creaminess, because in order to cream your butter and sugars together, you need to ensure your butter is at room temperature. You then want to add your sugars. We've got a 1/4 cup of light brown sugar, and then I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of castor sugar. And I want to really mix this up, because the point of creaming is essentially to add a little bit of air into your fat and your sugars before you can add any liquid into it. Now, I don't want to beat this too much. I don't want too much air in here, because we are making a skillet cookie and we want it relatively flat. So I'm not going to beat it too much, but when I see it's looking like this, where it's incorporated, I don't have any lumps anymore, I'm good to go. So we crack an egg and we add it into the mixture. Just make sure not to get any shell in there. If you like, crack it into a bowl first if you are not comfortable. So at this stage, if you were to make it eggless, you could use 1 flaxseed egg, which is basically 1 tablespoon of flaxseed powder with 2 tablespoons of water that has been mixed. It'll form this gloopy little substance, and that's what will bind your entire cookie. Let's mix it, mix it. Ooh, look at it getting together. Ooh, mixy, mixy. Ooh, mixy. Ooh. So once your mixture looks something like this, which you can see is quite runny, we then want to talk about add-ons and add our dry ingredients, which is basically your flour, a little bit of corn flour, baking powder, baking soda, and salt. So you ideally need 1/2 cup of fillings, whether you're going to use chocolate chunks, chips, milk chocolate, dark chocolate, white chocolate, the peanut butter morsels, or even if you want to add nuts. So I'm just going to chop up some chocolate very roughly. I'm not doing anything specific or fancy, because as this bakes, it's going to melt. So now it's time to add all our dry ingredients. We're going to start with 1 cup and 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. If your flour is lumpy, you do want to sieve it beforehand. I'm going to add a tablespoon of corn flour, and what this does is it ensures that your cookie stays chewy and fudgy on the inside. And I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, while I'm going to add 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder, and this will give it a little bit of lift. So I'm going to start by adding my dark chocolate chunks here, and this is going to be really nice when it bakes. It's just going to melt and become gooey and ooey and oh so lovely. And then I'm going to add my peanut butter morsels, which I'm just going to add a handful approximately. And I'm going to stir this around to combine. So this is when your cookie dough is essentially done, and you can see everything is mixed in. There are no flour pockets. It's all pure cookie goodness. At this point, you can lick the spoon, but be careful if your eggs are not fresh, just to be on the safe side. So now we want to get our tin prepped. And I'm using this heart-shaped tin like I mentioned. You could use a round tin. As long as it is a 7 or 8 inch, we're fine. Anything larger means the cookie is going to take lesser time to bake. Anything smaller, you're going to get a thicker cookie and it's going to take a longer time. So this is approximately good for a 7 inch or an 8 inch round tin. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spray this with baking spray, and then I want to add a piece of baking parchment at the bottom, just to ensure it comes off easily once it's baked. And then we add the piece of parchment at the bottom. So we're just going to add our cookie dough into the prepared tin. So once all your cookie dough has been flattened, you want to level it out, and you can use the back of a spoon or your spatula like so. But let's talk about toppings really quickly. At this stage, if you like, you can add chocolate chunks, chocolate chips. You want to add more peanut butter morsels, you could add more nuts on the top. I wouldn't recommend going more than 2 tablespoons of toppings. Maybe a little bit more if you're feeling a little generous, because remember, there's going to be an icing on the side, so we don't want to cover it up too much. Cookie will bake for 20 minutes. But if you want the cookie to be a bit more firm, I would recommend you baking it for at least 25 minutes up to 28 minutes at 180 degrees. This depends on your oven. So at the mark of 20 minutes, I would recommend you check your cookie just to ensure it's okay. See how it's looking. Has it got some color on the outside? Is it puffing up? Has your oven gone off? Just have a look at it. So I'm going to take my heart and I'm going to put it in the oven. I'm going to bake it for 20 minutes and I'll be right back. So while our cookie bakes, we're going to make a very simple buttercream. And buttercream is not complicated, it's not demanding. It's just literally 2 ingredients, which is butter and icing sugar. You cannot skip on the icing sugar. No other sugar works. Icing sugar is also known as powdered sugar or confectioner sugar, for example, depending on where you're buying it from. But your butter needs to be soft at room temperature like this. So you can see it can easily be whisked up. So I'm just literally breaking up the butter right now. It's very easy to do because you can see it's totally soft before I start adding in my sugar. I'm going to start by adding my icing sugar into my sieve, and I'm going to sieve it in 3 batches. It's completely incorporated. I then want to add vanilla. Now I'm using vanilla extract. You can use vanilla essence. I wouldn't recommend it though. You could also add vanilla bean paste. You could add vanilla powder, but you want to use the real deal as much as possible. I also am going to add a little bit of cold cream, and this is double cream that I'm adding. So what the whipping cream actually does is it's going to make it looser and it's going to make it more silkier and velvety, so when you pipe it or you spread it, it looks luscious and lovely. This is what I mean by glossy. You can totally do this effortlessly by hand. This is the texture we're looking for. So we're going to make this a pinkish icing. So I'm going to use red food gel. It is Valentine's Day and I'm trying to go with the red, pink, white themes. So the cookie is out of the oven right now and it is a bit puffed up, as you can see. It's gotten, but if I press it down, it's still soft, and that's what I want. It's gonna set and firm up as it cools down, but I don't want to take it out completely cooked. I want it to have that soft, chewy interior, but this needs to cool down completely before I can think of icing it. Otherwise, all the buttercream is just gonna slide right off. So once your cookie is cooled down a bit, it's still warm to touch, but it's easy enough for you to handle. You should be able to just completely pull it out. The parchment here just helps for it to come out easily, and you want to let this cool on a wire rack. This is going to cool for at least an hour before you ice it. I'm going to use a piping bag and I'm going to use a star tip nozzle because I want to make it look fancy and pretty, because it's Valentine's Day, in case you've not gathered by now. But the easiest way to do it is to start by putting your nozzle into the bag. And if you don't have a piping bag, you could use a Ziploc bag. Just squish all the frosting to the corner, snip it, and then you could use it. So another way to ensure your frosting is filled into your piping bag well. Don't try this at home, because if it bursts and goes everywhere, it's not my fault. It's to do this. So as you can see, my cookie is completely cool. I can hold it in my hand, and this is my heart. It beats just for you. We're ready to eat, you guys, but let's say you didn't want to pipe. You can just spread the icing on top. Did I say icing? I meant frosting. You guys, it's a buttercream, it's a frosting. Please forgive me, I'm new to this. You can spread it on top, it's absolutely fine. Or you could leave it out completely. I like it because I think the silkiness adds a lovely texture into the chewy fudgy cookie. But you could leave it out. Just a bit of icing sugar dust on top is also absolutely. Do you think I should bite into it? Like, I'll be having a bite of my own heart. What do you think about that? Happy Valentine's Day to me. Oh my god. So that's it. You can cut this up as well, or you can bite into it like I did. There's a different satisfaction of doing that, I must say. I hope I don't have cookie in my teeth. Anyway, I hope you make this, and if you do, please tag me so I can see it. Let me know in the comments if you've tried it. I would love to hear your experience once you've shared it with your family and your friends. And it's too early for me to say it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Happy Valentine's Day. But you guys, please make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to see any more of this goofiness and the fun that I have in my kitchen. And I would love to share more recipes with you that you would like. So you can tell me in the comments what you would like to learn, the things you want to know, and I'm happy to encourage that, because the kitchen is a fun place and I have fun here. This is my therapy and I'm trying to share that with you as well. So you can expect me to upload 2 videos a week, which is going to be on Tuesday and Friday at 2 p.m, which is Gulf Standard Time, that's GST, just to make it clear for anybody who's watching it from anywhere else in the world. But obviously they are there for you to replay and enjoy as and when you decide to watch them. Well, I guess that's it. I can just say bye for now, but wait for the next one to come out in a couple of days. Positive ninja vibes, you guys.